The Right2Know campaign says political parties should be made to cough up fines if they spread misinformation while on the campaign trail in the local government elections. Phumzile van Damme, now with the Anti-Disinformation project, joins us from Oslo in Norway. Phumzile, good evening to you and thanks for your time tonight. Look, it's an important way to be able to tackle disinformation. How do you think, we should be going about in terms of these fines? Who would be responsible for issuing these fines? Is it something that the courts would do? Would we need an independent body to do that? What's the thinking around this kind of project?
Yes, so it's a collaboration between myself, Right2Know, Code for Africa, Witness. So we've come together recognizing the harms that disinformation would cause in this election. So we've been preparing for this for the last couple of months, and the project has several different things we'd like to achieve. And what we've announced this week is targeted specifically at political parties. So we'll be monitoring their communications using technological tools. And the tool that the accountability mechanism that exists in terms of the law is that once the election date has been officially declared, the ISC Code of Conduct comes into effect, which lists specifically the conduct that political parties are prohibited from doing. And part of the Code of Conduct includes political parties not publishing or spreading false information or using their positions of power to unethically influence the outcome of the election. So we saw these two sections as, if read together, prohibiting parties from spreading disinformation.
Of course,
so
yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So what the Code of Conduct allows is for anyone, and what we will do is submit complaints to the Electoral Court, which then will adjudicate and see if it is indeed a violation of the Code of Conduct, and it can hand down sanctions.
Of course, this provides an opportunity to do perhaps a great deal of fact-checking on political parties and different politicians, perhaps who are running as independents. But at the same time, not everything that is said on campaigns will necessarily end up in print or on broadcast media.
Yes, so that's the system that we've set up. So it does not only monitor what is said in the media, so our system monitors kind of media coverage, but we also have a social media listening tool. So that also monitors what is said on social media, and from that we will be able to garner what also the conversations that I had. The great thing about us being in this digital era is that a lot of what is said on the ground is often shared, and that's it being in COVID, and a lot of the campaigns are taking place digitally. So we'll be able to get, I think, a good amount of what is said by politicians shared on social media. And the platform where most disinformation is actually spread is on social media. So we believe we'll be able to catch most of it using the system that we've set up. But we're also counting on the We're also counting on the public to join us in tackling disinformation, because the harms are not just only in, voters being given false information, as we saw in July, where disinformation played a very big role in inciting violence. I think that's the real harm, and disinformation actually having real life harms and resulting in violence.
You're bringing me to my next point, Phumzile, the fact that it's not always, let's say, it's not always Party X that will be directly culpable for spreading misinformation. Oftentimes on social media, there's the use of third and fourth parties to distribute this information, and you find that, political parties that are suspected to be behind it could well deny the fact that any of this disinformation stemmed from them. How are you going to deal with that?
Yes, I think it's a global phenomenon where political parties, to give themselves plausible deniability, either use PR firms, which is going to be another leg of part of the project, focusing on PR firms. So they'll use PR firms, as we saw with Belpattinger, where they'll run influence operations. So that is also part of the project, where we'll be able to monitor what is said on social media, and also be able to monitor what is said on media coverage. So we are also monitoring influence operations, and we will be able, with that kind of research, to be able to link it back to ex-political party. In the same way, the kind of investigation with Belpattinger eventually linked it back to, who hired Belpattinger, and it was linked back to the Gupta brothers, and it was linked back to former President Jacob Zuma. Obviously, that kind of investigation takes a long time and it takes a lot of work, but some of the investigative work has already begun, and hopefully we will be able to kind of release those kind of results. But you've really touched on an important point. That's what unfortunately happens. They give themselves distance, and they hire third actors to kind of run those influence campaigns on their behalf, and they say no, it's not us. But as you can always see that, this kind of campaign would benefit Party X.
Phumzile van Damme, let's leave it there for tonight. She's now with the Anti-Disinformation Project.